Hello and welcome to Paradise Lost, a show where my friends and I play Dungeons and Dragons. My name is David Stallings and I'm the Dungeon Master for these adventures. Woohoo! But today, once again, I am your captain, taking you on a little tour that we like to call our little slice of paradise. Today we are looking at episode 21, Crossroads. And without further ado, continuing their journey towards Mount Gakis.
Nice.
The party wakes the morning after the zombie vampire ambush. Beginning to walk, Andre had taken
we
note.
didn't sing the song.
Which one?
Zombie.
Very good song, yeah.
Zombie. Ooh.
What's in your head? In your head.
All right, we only have time for that much.
All right,
They're going
that's
to
all we can
copyright
do,
strike
that's
us
all we can do.
afterwards.
Yep.
Too good.
Yeah, it sounds perfect.
We will be releasing our own version soon.
Beginning to walk, Andre had taken note of Timothy's new armor and his changed mannerisms.
Yes. Remember when I walked away without saying it?
Having displayed some different spells in the combat the evening prior, Timothy confessed that he has become a religious man in some capacity as a new cleric. They assumed he meant he was now serving the Morning Lord, but
Naturally.
Timothy quickly denied this, causing the party to become even more intrigued. But the only information that Timothy divulged was that he had some dreams of some dark fields, and that he's going with it.
Didn't you say you went to Valakai to pick up some heavy armor at some point?
Right before
Yeah.
we
You're just
left,
like,
it was,
all right.
It was last episode where I wasn't
He said,
there.
that checks
I had
out.
this big old thing.
Oh, okay.
Didn't.
Right.
That's why it was like this episode. Suddenly, we're going to talk about it.
Right, gotcha.
But no further information was given. In recent days as well, Timothy had managed to keep a raven with him, who he had named Reginald. Managing to train him to stay with Timothy, Lord Farquaad on this journey also created a small sombrero and armor out of nearby twigs. He gave it to Reginald as some new attire.
Locked on the back and tied. It's beautiful.
It's very cute.
Oh, man.
Nereza also conversed with Michael regarding some amplified feelings that she had begun having. It was amplified motions of anger or being more alert, though Michael did not seem to know much about something like that. And a lot of conversations in the beginning of this session. Irina had approached Timothy once more and asked if he was really okay, reminding him of having seen something looming over him.
She won't drop it.
Yeah, she wouldn't drop
Like,
it.
no.
Especially after you were like, I'm a religious man now.
Right, yeah.
She's like,
She was like, remember
Which
when you lied
religion?
to my face?
sounds fake.
My religion or someone else? Because
Though it concerned Irina...
I need to know whether or not I hate you.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
IRL.
Yeah. Though it concerned Irina, Timothy confirmed to her that this dark entity is good. Though she was still skeptical. She had stated that she was worried since, in terms of gods, people know who the Morning Lord is, but people don't seem aware of some kind of dark figure that you had been connected with. Timothy then relented and stated that the entity is named Mask, and that he's a fan of Timothy stealing shit.
Mask.
Irina had never heard of this figure, but was intrigued to hear that. But was intrigued to hear that it is quite likely a god.
Oh,
But then she dropped it.
On your way.
The group eventually made it to the crossroads where they had planned to part with Michael. Though they wished Michael would come with them to Mount Gakis, he resisted, stating that he had to go off to Kresk. Though if they were to cross paths once again, he would happily journey with them. Before parting ways, Nereza asked him how to gain her own pair of wings like him.
Jared.
Michael could not offer concrete details on how to do this, but ultimately
I just want to fly.
he parted by saying, "Keep doing good."
Yeah.
And I think you're with a group that's trying to do something very good.
Oh, yeah.
And with those final words, definitely.
I blew it, guys.
With those final words, he expanded his wings once more and flew off in the direction of Kresk.
Just to flex on you one last time.
Absolutely.
He said,
He's like,
bye.
That's right.
Flew away.
So good, dude.
Good flair.
Get fucked.
Beginning to head south.
Just keep doing good, kid.
Someday you'll end up like me.
10 feet off
Yeah.
the ground.
Yeah.
But not today.
Beginning to head south towards the mountain, Stephen noticed that there was a significant increase in ravens and watched as one of them landed on Lord Farquaad's shoulder. Lord Farquaad tried to communicate with the Raven via a spell called Beast Bond. She learned that the Raven came from the west, likely from the Wizard of Wine's winery, and that this Raven in particular is in fact one of the keepers of the feather. Lord Farquaad stepped away from the group and into the forest nearby to communicate with the keeper, as they were trying to be cautious since the keepers did not know Casimir.
Yep.
With more privacy, the Raven then transformed into a familiar figure of the Mardukov family. Though they did not speak with her originally, the human woman is Stefania Mardukov, one of Davian's daughters. Stefania stated that after the group had helped them retake their winery, the keepers kept their eyes on Yester Hill and the potential ritual that they had mentioned they will perform soon. She noted that someone arrived this morning on the back of a horse with fire on it, and they believe it to be Strahd.
Sounds like Strahd to me.
With this information, she also asked that the group come back to help deal with whatever plans the druids and potentially Strahd have, as well as the potential monster that was being created. Lord Farquaad went back to the group to discuss the development and what they should do. Andre, though, branched off with Casimir in order to preserve the secret of the Keepers. That's true, and instead distracted Casimir with a wonderful discussion of illusion magic, crayons, and the wonderful drawings of a 400-something-year-old dusk elf.
The simple pleasures in life.
The simple pleasures in life. We haven't talked about it yet, but it became canon that Casimir is an avid artist. And his spell
with
book,
crayons.
His spell book is a coloring book, and he makes his own crayons.
Makes his own crayons.
The group had a very tense discussion on what to do. Nereza and Steven believed that the keepers should try to help themselves, considering that the party has the greater objective of finishing the prophecy in order to have the greatest chance of actually defeating Strahd. Meanwhile, Andre pointed out that if they don't help, the group may lose their only source of real allies in Barovia.
Good point, Andre.
To top off the discussion, Irina brought up information that she had been feeling a call towards Kresk every time they had passed the crossroads, but was trying to suppress it since Kresk was not anywhere on their list of things to do.
Hey, thanks, Irina.
Yeah, suppress it a little harder next time.
Yep. You don't want to hear it.
Hey, I'm going to suppress it for now since we're doing nothing, but I'm going to bring it up at this point when we have 3 different other directions to go into.
Yeah.
So, I'm Irina. I'm dumb.
She's so fucking annoying.
Well, she was.
Got her.
Haven't watched it.
They came to the conclusion that they should go help the Keepers of the Feather, though Steven stated that going to Mount Gakis has to be the next thing, as he feels his own call to it, similar to what Irina is feeling in regards to Kresk.
Jesus.
Andre wrote a letter to be sent by the Raven Stefania to Aragol, stating that the group was taking a detour to Yester Hill and to meet them there, instead of the mountain. Stefania, in her Raven form, swooped down, grabbed the letter, before heading off into the fog after you had told her where to go.
Told her where to go.
Trying to find a way to save time on their journey, Casimir suggested he polymorph himself into a giant owl or a giant eagle. What is happening? Whoa, that was cool. Wow. Casimir had suggested he polymorph himself into a giant owl or a giant eagle, and he could fly people over the forest of the area. He'd have to take 2 trips and would be exhausted the next day, but it would reduce a large portion of their trek to a handful of hours instead of a day.
Fuck yeah.
Convenient.
Fuck yeah.
Upset with the decision to veer away from the mountain yet again,
Suck my ass, Steven.
Immediately, you already know what I'm talking about. Steven took a moment to himself to place his hand on his chest where the scar of his patron is, and to express to him that they would head there soon.
These fools.
As they convened, the group managed to take a long rest before continuing towards Yester Hill. In the morning, as they began their journey, Nereza could feel her emotions becoming amplified at the thought of Strahd potentially being where
But no one knows
they're
why.
going. There's no one
There's
knows
no
why.
way to tell why.
And she had a heavy desire to kill.
Who could say?
She stopped the party and
Probably
spoke to them
a
about
period.
this, unsure
she did.
where the amped emotions are coming from or what they mean, but she wanted the group to be aware. And that was it.
Nice.
Next.
Like,
Yeah, because Andre made a huge bitch fest about no one telling them his secret, or no one telling him the secret dreams.
Call it a bitch fest.
No, it was a bitch fest.
More of
and
a bitch mania.
No,
maybe.
and I had
Bitch mania
never
is very
lied to
good.
you about any of
I
that.
didn't sell tickets or anything. It was just my own thing.
Asshole.
Bitch Mania was a really good event.
Bitch bonanza.
Bitch bonanza.
Bonanza?
Oh, I like that one. When is that?
Bitch nanza.
bitch Nanza.
Yeah.
All right.
2024.
I'm excited. Let me know.
Uh-huh.
Passing the winery, our heroes continued following the path through the Svalech woods towards Yester Hill.
Nice.
The day became a lot darker as they progressed, as a storm began to come through. But Lord Farquaad could also hear that in the forest nearby, she could faintly hear the sounds of large thuds deep within. Quietly, the group began to sneak into the forest, wanting to investigate the source of the sound, knowing that the druids did have a plan to create some kind of creature.
Yeah, it's a big guy. He a coming.
I remember.
They could start to make out small humanoid figures within the forest, seeming to walk in the same direction of these thuds. Timothy cast invisibility on himself and Andre in order to get up closer and investigate. However,
ass to hands was back.
Yes.
it was
Better than ever.
What a move.
better than ever. However, both of them do not have dark vision, making this quite a blind investigation.
Brilliant.
But they continued on.
Couldn't see out of either end.
They were able to identify that these figures were more of the druids that they had dealt with back at the winery, but more importantly, they did spot a monstrous withered tree using roots as legs, walking and stomping through the Svalech woods. Elements of stained blood across all of the wood, as well as a small green light within the chest of this tree. Citing this, the two headed back to the group. Relaying what they saw, the group began to make their way forward, hoping to ambush the caravan of druids and the tree. Managing to get close enough without alerting the druids and monster, the adventurers were able to execute their ambush plan.
Nice.
Opening with a collection of arrows from Nereza, a sphere of sickening radiant energy from Stephen, a burst of shadowy energy from Timothy, a fireball from Andre, and a tidal wave slamming down on them from Lord Farquaad.
Yeah, we really fucked him right there, didn't we?
Just went balls to the wall immediately.
Yeah, opened up with some heavy stuff immediately. Irina and Ismark unfortunately could not get close enough to do much immediately.
Could they ever?
Yeah.
That's my question.
But began charging into the fray while Casimir released a fireball as well. Managing to eliminate 3 of these druids rather quickly and do some damage to the large tree monster, all attention turned to the adventurers, and shouting could be heard past the monster as it seemed more druids were walking with this caravan. As the battle ensued, Andre rushed forward as the monster began moving towards the group, and as it lumbered forward, placing its arms into the ground, into the forest around you, and the roots beginning to upheave towards you guys, Andre released a spell of banishment. As it impacted the creature, it was unable to prevent its power, and suddenly the monstrosity vanished. The battlefield then changed drastically to just the party versus 3 druids, while Andre continued to concentrate on keeping the monster banished for the time being. The druids, though, began controlling the vines and trees in the area, managing to restrain Ismark, Andre, and Nereza. And in the midst of combat, Irina's attention suddenly turned away from the battle towards deeper into the forest.
God damn it.
And began sprinting into the forest.
That'll do it.
That'll do, donkey, that'll do.
Lord Farquaad could see suddenly a source of flame in the direction where Irina was running towards. A figure riding atop a black, fiery horse. A figure as Strahd, but as a hand extended towards Irina, inviting her towards him. Caught off guard by this development, and their focus split between Strahd and the druid assailants, they could not catch up to Irina in time before she climbed onto the back of Strahd's horse, seemingly charmed. As she climbed on, the party watched as their friend suddenly vanished with Strahd.
And more importantly, the sigil.
The holy symbol of Ravenkind.
Yeah, that's what we were really
Vanished
bummed up
with
about.
her.
Yeah.
She was gone. Strahd, for the moment, had succeeded in finally taking her. The group was distraught, but had to undo the druids and their monsters still.
Nah, I mean,
Still distraught over the item or Irina? You're distraught or something.
Fair.
You guys were definitely upset at me.
Yeah.
You guys were like, there's no way.
he's such a bitch.
Yeah.
He
Such
is.
a pussy, dude.
He is. There's a reason that there were 2 encounters the night before, or 2 nights before, and then this. There was very little interaction with him.
Yeah, all he had to do was reply to our letter.
It was plans
Love to go to
executed,
dinner.
which was a very stark contrast to the previous times you had to encounter them. there was a point where he wasn't going to mess around anymore, and that's what was happening.
Yeah. He understood.
Dick.
Yeah,
we were forced.
You guys
forced to be reckoned
because the last time he interacted with you and kind of played with you, you guys made him flee, and that was at Barovia.
Hey, that's right.
And after that, it was more of
after that.
I'm not messing around now. I'm coming for what I want.
Using my full power.
Using my full power. They had managed to kill the druids before Andre brought back the monster from his banishment, and quickly they were able to demolish it without the assistance from those walking alongside it. But was destroyed mainly due to an incredibly powerful blight spell cast from Lord Farquaad and her staff to completely wither and destroy the tree. With that, the green gem of the winery fell to the forest floor as the Svalich wood went silent once more. They had won.
Yay.
But an overwhelming sense of defeat covered the group as Irina, as their holy symbol of Ravenkind, and Irina had fallen into Strahd's hands. And that's all that happened.
That's all.
That's all that happened.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, baby.
No. Fumble.
That was this little slice of paradise. Thank you for watching, and we do hope you enjoyed.